What up, everyone? Sorry, it's been a while since my show. Hope you all enjoyed that. Just been busy, man. Work. I got a couple parts in the new Poe and Pines 5 plays. I'm in 3 of them. So I got rehearsals going for that. I got to start writing the script to 12 Angry Jurors that I'm going to be directing coming up. And I'm trying this new thing. I put on a little muffin top in my last recently. So I'm doing an old school trim down. But I've done low carbs before. I've never done an actual bodybuilding, like measuring every grain of rice and fish and all that. So I'm doing that. Also, I've never done old school bodybuilding, hit every muscle group twice a week, dozens of exercise, dozens of reps, fast pace. It's exhausting. It's very time consuming. But I will try to get back to regular schedule. And if I'm sweating profusely, my AC's busted. The engine's working. The pump's working, fan's not spinning. I don't know why. Beyond my skills. I have to call somebody tomorrow. So anyway, this conversation, that's enough about me, started over Demi Lovato, I think. Finally growing out of her non-binary, realizing, hey, I'm not two people. And so, I could have left well enough alone. But, come on, you know me by now. I didn't. So, because I'm a jerk, right? So, Audrey Wolf, these comments hurt my non-binary heart. Me, no such thing, so you should be fine. Audrey, I'm non-binary, so... Chris Packer, stop using phony science to justify transphobia. And he put up an article. I did not click on it. I don't need some blue-haired whale telling me, why biology up until 2016 was a lie, and the only science we can trust are the blue-hairs in their basement making up genders off the top of their head. Steve McKeown, McKeown. I don't know. I'm not trying to tell anybody to go after these people. I just don't know how you pronounce that. Imagine arguing about someone's identity. Couldn't be me living a sad life like that. Me, to Chris Packer. Until you show me the article of a doctor dissecting someone and discovering 200 plus new sets of genitalia or sexual organs, you have zero science to back up your claim. All you have is people with blue hair making up new genders every day off the top of their heads. Like, quote, small dog-like genders and small cat-like genders. Okay? Sure, there's no science to back that up. You can call me a transphobe all you want. There's no science to back that up. In 6 years, when this trend is as dead as mullets and bell-bottoms, y'all are just going to pretend you never wrote this stuff. And Steven, no one gets to make something up and expect the world to play along. You might as well say you're a pirate or a musketeer. Well, pirates and musketeers were once a real thing, so... Oh, you got me there, buddy. Yeah, Steven, they don't exist anymore. Here, if it makes it easier for you. If I said I was a dragon or the tooth fairy, people absolutely do not have to abide by that and tell me. And they have the right to tell me I'm none of those things and need to grow up and join the real world. Because like non-binary, which means one, by the way, and binary means two, doesn't exist. None of us are two people, and no one ever was or ever will be. All right, Steven, yes, because animal is the same gender, but go off. Okay. No, Steven, dragons and tooth fairies are not animals. They are fictional beings from fairy tales. Just like non-binary. But great to know you don't know what the... Oh, yeah, he asked me if I know what the vas deferens is. VASDEFERENS is. I'm sure you don't even know what the Skeens and Barthol... SKEENES. And no, I didn't look these up because I don't care. And Bartholins, BARTHOLINS glands are too. Stephen, are these terms for girls' vaginas turning into penises or vice versa? Do they make some of us small cat or dog genders? Are cats and dog gendered people attracted to cats and dogs? Stephen. Oh, way to avoid the question, Lamau. Do you even know what they are? Me, again. Stephen. You haven't answered my question. Will knowing about them make a small dog-like gender real? What about pansexual? If I understand these terms, will I truly be able to fuck someone's soul? So, just say you don't know what they are. Me. Just give me a clue. If I suck one, will I get monkeypox? Bit of a low blow from the berserker, I know. And that was when poor Steven dropped out of the conversation. Audrey, someone needs to go back to biology. Yes. Yes, the girl saying sometimes she's a man and sometimes she's a girl, depending on her feelings. She has a penis or a vagina, is telling other people to go back to biology. That's fantastic. Okay, so Dusty to Audrey, me to Audrey. Sorry, biology. Biology sure has changed since you guys burned down universities to get your way. When biology teachers didn't have to worry about death threats from the LGBT, boys had outies, girls had innies, no matter what your feelings were. Biology doesn't change depending on your feelings. We're not seahorses, okay? You're a girl. You may have thoughts and emotions that are seen as or defined as masculine, but you do not change into a boy or grow a penis when you have them. Libby Oy. O-Y-E. Libby Oy. Libby Oy. Is that a play on words? I don't know. Audrey, Facebook exposes a lot of people. I knew what to expect when I saw the laugh reactions. Oh. Audrey, I hate it here. Libby, same. Me. Libby, and funnily enough, if you've never heard of any of these non-binary fiction infecting your impressionable brains, it wouldn't bother you in the slightest. But saying you choose to live in a fantasy world and never grow up will always bring those who make fun of you. I'm not trying to do that. Just guiding you to hopefully joining the adults in reality someday. Don't make up issues, and people can't belittle you for those make-believe issues. Audrey, Dusty, does Sarah know you're like this? I'm bringing my girl. They went through my profiles, everybody. Found my girlfriend. They are not the first ones. Libby, Audrey, if they didn't, they will soon enough. They refer to Sarah as they now. Dusty, to Libby, you can call Sarah a her, not they, because she's not a child playing make-believe. You have nothing to say about your point of view when you have to dip into someone's account looking for something personal. I don't look down on the LGBTQIPS2P2SAA look. I go because I'm very, very politically correct here, very welcoming and accepting. But when they laugh, like, yeah, go after his girlfriend, it had a couple laugh reactions, not very many. Go after his girlfriend, that'll show him. It's hilarious, especially from people claiming to be the ones on peace, claiming the rest of the world's all hateful and stuff. They're the ones in your DMs, like trying to, or in the people you care about's DMs. Yeah, anyway. I would never click on your page because, one, you're not that important to me. And second, because my points stand on their own and I don't need to stoop to attempting emotional blackmail to fucking get my way across. Non-binary, gender fluid, or pansexual are pretenders. You saw the trans movement taking off and wanted the attention for yourselves without putting any skin in the game, like real trans people do, undergoing life-altering, irreversible surgeries. You're probably as cis and hetero as I am, but like people putting on uniforms when they saw soldiers getting special treatment after 9/11, or sad, lost young men breaking the cartilage in their ears, real thing by the way, when MMA first boomed back in the late 2000s. You're just following a trend, and like Demi Lovato, you, sooner than later, will grow out of following each trend and go back to being just a girl, which you always were and always have been, because unlike true trans people, you never actually committed. Audrey, stop it, go away. Libby, you're mean. Okay, so that just proved it. Okay, they're young 20-year-old girls who just follow it. Like I said, it's a true fact. Oh, look, we're so accepting. The world's so much more welcome. We got a 5,000% increase of trans. They're finally not scared to come out. And it's nobody who was old enough to remember a time when they were oppressed. 4,500% girls aged 12 to 22, the most susceptible group to trends. The other 500% boys aged 12 to 22, the second most likely group to follow a trend. So there you have it. That is it. They have nothing except threats to your family, and your loved ones, and you're mean. Stop it. This is what I pretend to be. Yeah. When I was a kid too, I wanted to be RoboCop and save the world from T-800s, Predator, and Xenomorphs. Okay, but 37 now. I know there's no such thing as those, and you got to grow up. I still like the movies, but I have to grow up enjoying the real world. Why does this matter? Exactly like I'm explaining that to you now, because it does society no good if we're going to have half the country pretending to be something else, pretending to live in a fantasy world. People have to contribute to society to make a movement. All these movements, whether it's feminist or the LGBT, there was that article, the safe space frat house, whatever, where it was all like queer and feminist could stay because we're so scared of the cis men gonna hurt us. This was a real thing. And the radiator repairman came in. It was a cis man, because apparently cis men still do all the repair jobs. I'm sorry, there's not a big line of trans and feminists volunteering to be and learning to be repairmen. No, they're learning gender studies. They're learning queer studies, radical race theory, where the only jobs available is to become a professor and teach gender theory. It's literally a pyramid scheme by definition. Okay, so they're not contributing to the world. They're not doing real work. Okay, you can say, oh, toxic masculinity, this and that. Well, the person that's going to run into your house probably and carry you and your kids over each shoulder out of the house, it ain't going to be a dude in a dress, and it ain't going to be a feminist. It's going to be a toxic masculine male that bends nails in horseshoes for fun. Okay? So, anyway, that's why, and plus, I don't know, maybe I get a sick pleasure out of it. If I don't talk to these people, I don't have nothing to talk about. I mean, that's one thing for sure. But also, I mean, it is, don't let it affect your own life, and don't let it run your life. But I mean, damn it, somebody's got to put the foot down, man. Somebody's got to say, enough. You wanted bathrooms, you got it. Now you're breaking women's heads open in the sports. You're beating women's sports. But now we're at the point where you're like, hey, average woman works 34 hours a week, average man 42. That's why they make more. Well, I'm going to ignore that and just complain that I don't make enough money. And it's sexism. I'm just going to keep ignoring actual biology, threaten my professor, get him fired for teaching actual biology, and he needs to say that, yes, male and female go back and forth. Her bullshit about, well, it's a social construct. Yeah, because in the beginning, before the last 100 years, the technological age is very short on a historical scale. And, if you go to places in the world where there's still old school tribes that do everything by hand, and they don't have backhoes and forklifts and everything else to move equipment with, and farming is done by hand, women are happy. They don't feel oppressed that they get to pick berries and play with the kids while guys go move the boulders and pull the tree stumps out of the ground with their fucking hands. Okay, no, they feel. So yes, that is why gender construct became a thing. I heard a great line recently. I don't know who said it, but it was, if you're in a field and you come across a fence and you have no idea why that fence is there, you're the last person who gets a voice on whether or not to remove that fence. The fence has been there between male and female. The social construct, finger quotes there for those of you just listening, which I hope you do, because I don't have any brilliant edits and cut. This is a channel. Hit play, put it in your pocket while you're sweeping the floor. Listen, all right, because that's all I got for you. So I'm just an asshole talking into a phone here. But that is where the constructs come from, okay? Because that's the way we lived for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And only recently, with the invention of computers and office jobs, can women now doing certain things. Okay, this isn't just me talking. Women soldiers will talk, oh, now that we're not fighting in the trenches, bayoneting each other up close and personal in combat, shooting each other in the face from 15 yards away, now that I can push a button in Washington and send a missile 3,000 miles to Iraq where I never set foot in, women can be part of the military. Okay, those are female soldiers talking, not me. So anyway, that's why that discussion is important. These people are out there, and we got to shut them down. You got to shut them down. You got to explain to them. Don't be mean. Okay, the monkeypox thing was a little mean, but the rest of that, I was very calm. I never lost my temper through the whole thing. It was just trying to point out the fallacies in their argument. No, you're not two people. And speaking of feminists, it's so funny when feminists and LGBT blur these lines because feminists fought for years. They're still like every movie, right? Uh, there's Danny in Lord of the Rings. There's Danny in X-Men. There's another, Midsommar, Danny, Star Wars, Rey. Star Trek said, fuck it. They went all in. Their lady captain is named Michael. Just trying their best not to say we're men's equal, but to be men and steal our names and everything else. Galadriel in the new Lord of the Rings, being a powerful wizard wasn't enough. Now she's got a full suit of armor and fist fighting and drinking with the boys, right? So you're doing that, and then here comes the LGBT who claims to be their allies, who right alongside say, yeah, when I'm good at my job and I'm being successful, I'm a man. That's my male version. When I'm crying and sucking at my job and being stupid and irrational, that's my female version. Kind of undergoes everything feminists have fought for and said, right? So that's when I have a vagina. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of funny. I mean, it is funny, not kind of. It is very funny. But, it's just hilarious because it totally flies in the face of everything feminists have tried to accomplish for all these years. So, anyway, I just thought that was a funny conversation, wanted to share it, and y'all have a good one, and get out of my trailer.